Eminem's My Name Is came out in 1999 and made him the hottest rapper in the world overnight. The production from Dr. Dre is taken entirely from a sample from a record that had already been passed over by other record producers and includes guest musicians that I think you're going to find really surprising. So what I wanted to say in the intro was that was Eminem's debut single, but of course it wasn't. You don't just walk into a studio with Dr. Dre if you've never recorded anything before, but it's the first single that anyone ever heard because the other stuff was basically made by himself in a bedroom and then sold out of his car boot. It was the first single that he ever worked with Dr. Dre on. The sample comes from a track by a guy called Labbi Siffre, who is a British soul jazz musician who released a string of albums in the 1970s, took a break, came back and wrote Something Inside So Strong. Something inside so strong. But back to 1975, he released an album called Remember My Song. It's great, but it didn't even hit the charts. The first track on that album is called I Got There, and it starts off like this. So that's not the sample from My Name Is, but it is the sample from Streets Is Watching by Jay-Z, which came out in 1997 on his second album and contains probably the best opening couplet of any Jay-Z song. If I shoot you, I'm brainless. If you shoot me, you're famous. It's great, isn't it? So as great as Streets Is Watching was and is, the producer Ski Beats must have been absolutely kicking himself when he heard My Name Is, because on the same Labbi Siffre track, a minute after that sample is taken, this plays. Now, the people playing on this record are Labbi Siffre, who's singing and playing the keys, but he's also got a few session musicians in the studio. The drummer is a guy called Ian Wallace, who went on to be in the band King Crimson. He worked with a bunch of people as well, Tim Buckley, Bob Dylan, he worked with Stevie Nicks, he went on tour with Roy Orbison, just tons of people. And then the bass guitar and the regular guitar are by a couple of guys called Chaz Hodges and Dave Peacock. Now, if you're British and if you're, say, 40 or above, you're going to know who Chaz Hodges and Dave Peacock are. They're Chaz and Dave. They're the Mockney comedy rock, party, boozy, knees up band that did things like the Sideboard Song and Snooker Loopy and Rabbit. They are, for me, a guy who comes from Northern England, the cheesiest, most awful band you could imagine. They're the furthest thing away from being cool that you can possibly imagine. Here's a clip of them doing their absolute prime number. They're amazing musicians. They're really good at what they do, and yet I cannot stand to watch them for more than 30 seconds. Tons of people love them. I totally understand why. I cannot stand them. And the fact that they're playing on one of the coolest records that came out in the late 90s, it just blows my mind. But that's the versatility of people who are great musicians. You know, they can play on that thing, the amazing Labbi Siffre soulful track, and then they can produce some absolute crap as Chaz and Dave. Sorry to any Chaz and Dave fans. Now, I had a look around for some quotes from Chaz and Dave about being on that session, and I can't see anything that they mentioned about it. I don't know how they feel or how they felt about being the sample for such a massive hit. It's possible that Dave Hodges would rather forget the session because he cocked up his guitar part on this bit. I've missed everyone. But Labbi Siffre has mentioned a few times on Twitter about the sample and Chaz and Dave's involvement with it, just pretty much to clear up the fact that actually he wrote the bass line, not them. So let's get it right, which is a bit of fun, I think. Getting permission to use the Labbi Siffre track wasn't straightforward. Labbi wanted to read the lyrics, and he was not happy with some of the language used. He said it was lazy writing, dissing the victims of bigotry, and he made Eminem rewrite a couple of the verses. One of the most notable ones is about a teacher. Now, in the original, I think the lyric is something like, my English teacher wanted to have sex with me in junior high. The only problem was my English teacher was a guy. All right. The rewritten lyric is, my English teacher wanted to flunk me in junior high. Thanks a lot. Next semester I'll be 35, which is just like objectively better and funnier. So fair play to Labbi Siffre for standing his ground, and fair play to Eminem for coming up with a better lyric the second time round. Now, if you've seen one of my videos before, first of all, subscribe, fair's fair. And secondly, you might be expecting me to get my phone out and trying to start reproducing this beat using a sampling app called Koala. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, just forget this whole bit. I have made a video where I've reproduced the beat, and YouTube copyright flagged it because it thought it was the original. So you know it's got to be good. It's obviously not as good as Dr. Dre's original. The man's a genius. And also, Eminem is one of the world's best rappers and one of the most successful rappers. He's even won an Oscar for his song in the film 8 Mile, a film where, let's not forget, he played a character called...
Hey, Rabbit. Rabbit, 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 rabbit.